Another one, privileges. Fourth one, views. So these are the different facilities in SQL Server to provide the security. Okay, logins, users, privileges, views. They provide security at different levels. The security is provided at what, sir? Different levels. Okay, now then high-tech city building is there. Anybody can enter into that building? No. You must be employee of one of the company. Security at building level. You can enter into that building. Suppose you are employee. You can enter into that building. You can walk into any company. No. You are allowed into your company. Security is there at company level. Like that. Here also, security is there at what, sir? Different levels. So then, suppose, let's see, for example, you see, this is what, sir? Server. This is server. This is the server. Okay. Then, so there is a what, sir? SQL server. This is the server. Inside the server, what, sir? A database is there. So let's say there are two databases, DB1, DB2. DB1, DB2. There are two databases. For the new project, they taken one computer system. In that system, they install SQL server. They created databases for the new project. Server is ready. For the new project, what is ready? Server is ready. Inside the server, databases are also ready. There is a developer 1, developer 2. There are two developers assigned to work with this database. Every day, these developers have to connect to what, sir? Server. To work with the database, they have to connect to the server. Yes or no? Then, so these developers are having work from home option. So from their house, they are using their laptop. From their laptop, they connect to the server, work with the database. But to connect to the server, what is required? To connect to the server, what is required? How you connect to the server? By giving? To connect to the server, every day, how we are connecting to server? By using login. Okay, na? One login is created for developer 1, one login is created for developer 2. Using this login, he can connect to the server. Using this login, he can connect to the server. So login provides security at what level? Login provides security at what level? Server level. Login provides what level? Server. Who are allowed to connect to the server? Who are not allowed to connect to the server? If you have the login, you can connect to the server. If you don't have the login, you cannot connect to the server. So login provides security at what level? Provides security at what? Server level. Okay, then next. Okay, now then, sir, developer 1, let's say developer 1, he connected to the server. He has the login. By using this login, he connected to the server. After connected to server, now is allowed to access only DB1. Is not allowed to access DB2. I want to give the permission to the developer to access only DB1. I don't want to give the permission to developer to access DB2. DB2 is not related to his project. DB2 is related to some other project. So give permissions to only related database. Don't give the permissions on other databases. And yes or no. Then how this can be controlled? So then, understood. In DB1, create one, what's it? Inside the database, create one what? User. Inside the database, what's it? Create a user. Create one user in DB1. Then, and associate this user with what's it? Associate this user with this login. In DB1, create one user, associate the user with what's it? Login. Once using this login, he connected to the WhatsApp server. After connecting to the server, now he can access DB1 because he is associated with a user in DB1. Now he can access the database, but he cannot access WhatsApp DB2. Why? Developer 1, he cannot access DB2. He cannot access DB2. Why? He is not associated with any user in DB2. To access the database, the login must be associated with what? User. So this login is associated with this user. Now he can access this DB1, but he cannot access DB2. I want to give the permission to developer 2. I want to give the permission to developer 2 to access DB2. Then what you do? Create one user. Create one user in DB2. Create one user in DB2. Associate this user with this login. Okay. Now. So with this, developer 1 can access only DB1. Developer 2 can access only DB2. So developer 1 cannot access DB2. Developer 2 cannot access DB1. Okay. Then tell me, user provides security at what level? Provides security at what level? Database level. User provides security at what level? Database level. Who are allowed to access the database, who are not allowed to access the database, that is controlled by using that. So user. Understood? Then next one. Sir, developer 1 allowed to access DB1 or not? Yes. So he can access DB1. Let's see. This is developer 1. Developer 1 can access what, sir? DB1. He can access DB1. What is database contains? Tables. So here there is a what, sir? Table. One table is what? Customer table. One table is what, sir? Products table. One table is what, sir? Orders table. One table is what, sir? Order details. One table is what, sir? Sales table. Like this. So this database contains number of tables. But see, developer 1 allowed to access DB1, but is not allowed to access all the tables. Is allowed to access only specific tables. I want to give the permission to developer to access only specific tables. How this can be controlled? This can be done with the help of one, what that is called privileges. This is done with the help of privileges. He is allowed to access DB1, but is not allowed to access all the tables inside the database. He is allowed to access only specific tables. Okay, na? Then tell me, privileges provides security at what level? Table level. Okay, then. So privileges provide security at table level. Next one. Okay, na? Then suppose developer 1 is allowed to access customer table. Developer 1 is allowed to access what, sir? Customer table, but is not allowed to access what the customer table contains. What the customer table contains? Rows and columns. The table contains what, sir? Rows and columns. Yes. Then so this is developer 1. Okay. Then what this table is? This is customer table. Okay. Then is allowed to access customer table, but is not allowed to access complete table. Is allowed to access only specific rows and specific columns. Is allowed to access only this part. Is not allowed to access complete table. Okay, na? How this can be done? This can be done with the help of what, sir? What? Views. That's it. So tell me what? What? Then, sir, here, then view provides security at what level? Row in column level. So view provides security at what? Row in column level. So logins provide security at server level, users database level, privileges table level, views what, sir? Row in column level. Okay, next. Sir, there is a server. Inside the server, what's that? Database. Inside the database, what's that? Table. What is table contains? Rows and columns. So what is the security here? Logins. What is the security here? User. What is the security here? Privileges. What is the security here? Views. That's security is there at different levels. Okay, there. Now, so up to now, what is the login we use it? SA. Every day, what is the login we use it? SA login. If you join in company, will you use SA login? No. Then what they do? Separate login is created for the developer. How to create the login? How to create login? Now let's see. So then till today we are using SA login. But if you go to the companies, they don't give SA login to you. They will create separate login. How to create the login? Okay, na? Then login is related to server database. Huh? Login is related to server database. Server. Okay, then server. For server level security, go to this. For server level security, what's it? Go to this. For database level security, inside the database, DB is 6 p.m. So inside the database, there is a security. What is this? This security is database level security. What this is? Server level security. Okay, now. So security, then what's it? Expand, then what? Logins. You can see the list of what's it? Logins. Then. So what are these? All these are what's it? Logins. The logins which are already there. But what do you want to do? I want to create a separate login. How to create the login? Logins, right click, select new login. Select logins, right click, select new login. When you select new login, then what it is asking? Login name. Okay, na? Then suppose I'm giving some login name. What's it? Naresh. I'm creating this login for Windows SQL Server. Windows means you don't give password, but SQL Server, you give the password. I'm giving the password 123. Confirm password 123. Then, okay, na? So enter the login, give the password, then click what's it? Okay. Click OK. When you click OK, what happens? Login is created. A login is created. A new login is created with name Naresh. Now connect to the SQL server using this login. Connect to the SQL server using this login. Now let's see. Again, open SQL server. Then enter login. What is the login? Naresh. Okay, na? Password 123. Click connect. What it is asking? It is asking the new password. Because who created the login? Who created the login? SA, admin. Who created the login? Admin is created the login. So here, developer is changing the password. He created the login bus. He's given login to the developer bus. This is Naresh's login. 123 is password. Then what he says, bus, if you want, you can change the password. No, you can change the password. Because nobody should know the password. Yes or no? Then, so he's changing the password. 456. 456. Here also 456. Click what's it? Okay. Password is changed. It's that simple. Bank will issue the debit card with some PIN number. They will ask you to change the PIN number. Same. Okay. Then connected. So who connected? Huh? Naresh, yes, developer. Developer Naresh is connected to server. He connected to the server. Yes or no? Then. So Naresh is connected to the server. Okay, then. So there are two SQL Server Management Studio windows. Left side is SA, right side is Naresh. Two connected to server. Naresh and SA both are connected to the server, same server. Okay, now. So Naresh is connected. Now, can he access the databases? Can he access DB 6 p.m.? No. DB 6 p.m. is not accessible. Can he access DB 7:30? Not accessible. He can't access. That's what I'm saying. He can connect to the server, but he cannot access databases. If he can access databases, that means there is no security. If he can access all the databases, then there is no security. Okay, no? Then. So he can connect to the server, but he cannot access what's the databases. To access the databases, then what? So to access the databases, so then what you have to do? Inside the database, create user, associate the user with login. Associate the user with Naresh login. Yes or no? Then. Now who create the users? SA. See, simple. Everything is created by SA because SA got permissions. He is the admin. Okay, na? Now I want to give permission to Naresh to access DB 6 p.m. I want to give the permission to Naresh to access what? DB 6 p.m. What the procedure is? In DB 6 p.m., create one user. So I'm creating a user. Open this DB 6 p.m. Expand. Here there is a security. Expand this security. There is a users. Right click. What's it? New user. So you can expand. If you expand, then you can see the list of users. What are the users? Sys information guest DBO. Some users are already there. I want to create a new user. Select what's it? New user. Select new user. And then create the user. Create the user. I'm creating the user. The username is Vijay. Suppose username is Vijay. So then login. What is the login name? Naresh. So I'm associating user Vijay with Naresh login. If Naresh is connected to the server, now he can access DB 6 p.m. because this Naresh is associated with a user in DB 6 p.m. Now he can access DB 6 p.m. Now say what's it? Okay. So user is created. Vijay user is created. Yes or no? He created in DB 6 p.m. Okay. Then now. So now he can access DB 6 p.m. Yes or no? Yes. But to see the changes, to apply the changes, then what you have to do is refresh. Then next, DB 6 p.m. Yes. Now it is open. Now it is not giving the error. Okay. Then can you access HR? No. It is giving error. I want to give the permission to Naresh to access HR also. Then I want to give permission to Naresh to access two databases, DB 6 p.m. and HR. Then tell me what? In HR also, then create user. How? Security, users, right click, new user, enter the username. Suppose I'm giving the username, Vijay. It's not compulsory Vijay. Any name you can give. That name, this name can be different because that is in different database. This is in different database. So then what is the login? Naresh. Now what? Then okay. Then Naresh. Naresh. What? So it is saying Vijay is already there. In DB HR database, user Vijay is what, sir? Already there. It is saying Vijay is already there. Then now users what, sir? New user. Then what is the username? Suppose Vijay. Then Naresh. Next what, sir? Okay. Then So one user is created. Now this user is associated with Naresh login. Yes or no? Now we can access HR database or not? Yes. Let's open. What you have to do? Refresh. If you want to apply the changes, refresh HR. Now it's not giving the error. Got it? Then okay. Now. So you can open DB 6 p.m. Yes, open DB 6 p.m. In DB 6 p.m. there is a table EMP table is there. In DB 6 p.m. there is a table. What's it? EMP table is there. Select star from what's it? EMP. So who is executing this query? Vijay. Okay, na? Sir, here database is open. When database is open, say username. Before database is open, say login name. That is what you have to follow that. Like if I ask who is using this database means user. Tell the username. What is the username? Vijay. Okay, na? Then how Vijay is connected to server? By using the login Naresh. Understood? Now is executing the query. Then error. Understood? Okay, na? Is executing the query. Select star from EMP. It is giving what's it? Error. Why? Okay, na? Then that's what is said. You are allowed to access database. When you are allowed to access database, it does not mean that you can access all the tables inside the database. It does not mean that you can access all the data tables inside the database. To access the database, to access the tables, you need what's that? Permission. You need permission. Okay, na? Then. Sir, yet listen this. What is that is? Sir, when you install SQL Server, one login is created automatically. SA. After installation of SQL Server, one login is created automatically. What that login is? SA. Today's class, we created another login, that is Naresh. Next one. When you create a database, okay, when you create one database, inside the database, one user is created automatically. What is the user name? DBO. Okay, na? Then, understand? So whenever you create a new database, inside the database, one user is created automatically. The username is DBO. But every user is associated with a login, na? So this user is associated with a login, SA. DBO is associated with which login? SA login. In today's class, we created one user. The user is what? Vijay. Vijay is associated with what, sir? Naresh login. This is what we have done. Now, till today, you connected to server, created the tables. Tell me, all the tables comes under which user? Where are the tables? Sir, here, till today, you connected to server, created the tables, na? Where all the tables are there. Which login you use it? SA login. That means all the tables are comes under which user? DBO. So the tables, whatever the tables you created EMP, DAPT, you created customer table, you created student table, you created number of tables. All these tables comes under which user? DBO user. Yes. Now, who is the owner of this EMP? Owner means user. Who is the owner of this EMP? DBO. Who is running this query? Who is running this query? Vijay. The table is created by DBO. Who is accessing this table? Vijay is accessing. That's why select permission was denied. Tables created by one user cannot be accessed by another user. If we can access my tables, if I can access your table, there is no security. Understood or not? Then. So that is why it is giving what's that? Error. So actual owner is DBO, but who is accessing the table? Vijay is accessing the table. That's why it is giving error. Select permission was denied. Now give the permission to Vijay to access this EMP table. I want to give the permission to Vijay to access this EMP table. Who has to give? DBO. Who is the owner? DBO. Sir, here if you want to check, you can check. What, sir? Select what? What, sir? Username. Here also select what? Username. So check the username. What is this username? DBO. Why DBO? Login is SA. If login is SA, user is DBO. Here the login is what, sir? Naresh. User is Vijay. Understood or not? Sir, two different users accessing the same database or different database? Same database. DB6PM. Multiple users accessing the same database. DB6PM. Understood? Then. But here, Vijay is not having permission to access EMP table because who is the owner of EMP? DBO. But Vijay want to work with this EMP table. Vijay want to test some queries. He want to test some programs on EMP table. So now you want to access EMP table. Then what DBO? DBO gives permissions on EMP table to Vijay. How to give the permissions? To give the permissions, we use one command, grant. Grant what's it? Select, insert, update, delete. This is 4 p.m. Huh? What is DB 6 p.m.? Where you created? DB 6 p.m. Yes or no? Then so grant, select, insert, update, delete on EMP2. What's it? Vijay. Okay, na? Then. So who is granting? DBO granting permissions on EMP table to Vijay. Commands completed successfully. Now Vijay can access. Yes. Vijay can access. Yes. Now see, select star from what, sir? EMP. Select star from EMP. Then now you can see the table. Because he got permissions. What permissions? Select, insert, update, delete permissions on EMP table to Vijay. He can select the data. He can insert the data. He can update the data. He can delete the data. He can select, insert, update, delete the data. Understood? Then. So can he update the data? So what is this salary? Null. Commission is one. Null. Let's update the commission. How to update? Update EMP. Commission equals to suppose 500 where employee number equal to 7369. So 7369 commission is updated with what, sir? 500. Who updated? Vijay. He can see the changes. DBO can see the changes. Select start from M. Sir, two tables are one table. One table shared by two users. Two users sharing the same table. Okay, na? Then let's see. So 7369, then 500. It's updated or not? Yes. You can see the changes. Yes. Who got what permissions? Yes. Then here you can expand this, but you can also use query. You can expand this one, security. If you expand the security users, then you can see these are the users. How many? 5. 4 comes automatically. What are the 4? DBO, guest, information schema, sys. They comes automatically. Extra created by users. Okay. Okay, now? Now. Next. Command. What are the command to see the list of users? Okay. Then like one is there are system tables, not predefined. Then command to see what list of what users in SQL server. Okay. Then So this one, see what the table sys dot what's that database principles. Okay, then select what. Okay, na? Then select star from what sys dot what's that database what principles. Then public DBO guest information. Okay, na? Sys Vijay names. There are what's it names. Okay, then so this is a command to see the list of users. Okay, then next. So now, okay, then now user can what's it then? So user Vijay can see the EMP table. He can work with the EMP table. He can update. He can delete. Okay, if he update, can he see the changes? DBO can see the changes. Yes. If DBO updates, Vijay can see the changes. Yes. Okay. Then next. So suppose, can he access a department table? Can I access a department table? Select star from DEPT. Possible? Huh? Can I access department table? Not possible. Because permissions are not there. He got permission to access only EMP. Okay, then. So next. Suppose I give permissions. What's the grant? What's the select on DEPT to Vijay? I'm granting only select permission. Then now Vijay can only see the data. Vijay cannot update the data. Suppose this location is New York. What is trying is updating DAPT set location equal to HYD where department number equals to 10. Department number equals to 10. What happens? Error. Update permission was denied. Why? Because you given only select. Now he can only read the data, but he cannot update the data. Okay? Then suppose you given the table because he has got some work. His work is completed. Once his work is completed, take back the permission. How to take back the permission? Revoke. Revoke what's it? Select, insert, update, delete on EMP from Vijay. Okay, then. So revoke code. Permissions are revoked. After that, now you cannot access the table. Select star from what? EMP. If you access the table, then it gives error. Understood? Then that's all. This is grant is for giving, revoke is for take back the permissions. Understood now? Then I'll add this to the notes. How to create users, how to create the logins. I'll add it to the notes. Okay, then. Okay, now you know three. What are the three? Logins, users, privileges. Privileges means permissions. Like what this is? Grant, what's that? Select. This is called privileges. Select, insert, update, delete are called what? Privileges, permissions. What permissions you are granting? 4 permissions granting an EMP table to Vijay. Okay, that. Okay, na? That. Next. So what is the next one? Views. Okay, next one is views. Okay, now this is users, logins. That. In companies, this is all done by DBA. What? Database admin. Okay, that. Next, what the next topic is? Database, what's that? Objects. Okay, na? Then database objects. One is tables, one is views, one is synonyms, one is sequences, one is indexes. tables, views, synonyms, sequences, indexes. Okay, that's all. So what are they called? Database objects. Then different objects are used for different purpose. Okay, then so tables are used for storing the data. Views are created for security. Synonyms are given. Synonyms are created to give simple and short name to the table. Sequences are created to generate serial numbers. Indexes are created to improve the query performance. So different objects are used for different purpose. Tables are created for store the data. Views are created for security. Synonyms are to give simple and short name to the table. Sequences are created to generate sequence numbers, serial numbers for primary key fields. Indexes are created to improve the query performance. Okay, so different objects are created for different purpose. So I'll write it here to store what's it. So tables are created to store data. Next, views are created to provide what? Security. What type of security? Using views. Row in column level. Row in column level. Synonyms created to give what? Simple and what's it? Short name to the table. Created to generate what's it? Sequence numbers. Sequence numbers for primary key fields. Index is what? Created to improve query performance. Okay, now then. But mainly two objects are most important. Interview purpose, views and indexes. Okay, then. So in database objects, if they ask questions, they ask from what? Views and indexes. Okay. So we'll start with what's it? Views. Then. So what is view? What for view? A view is a subset of a table. A view is a what? Subset of a table. Means what? Part of a table. A view is a subset of a table, part of a table. Okay, then subset. So actually, what you granted earlier, you granted what? Select, insert, update, delete on EMP to Vijay. Okay, you granted like this. Vijay is not allowed to access complete table. Vijay is not allowed to access complete table. He is allowed to access only specific rows and specific columns. Don't give the complete table to Vijay. Grant only specific columns. I want to hide salaries and commissions for Vijay. Vijay is not allowed to see the salaries and commissions. I want to hide. Then what you can do? You create one view. In this view, include what's it? Number, name, job, next one, department number. If you want hide date, whatever, except salaries and commissions, because salaries and commissions, Vijay is not allowed to see the salaries and commissions. Create the view with these fields. Then grant view to the what's that? Grant V1 to Vijay. If you grant view to the Vijay, Vijay can see only these four fields. He can't see the complete table. You understood or not? He can't see the complete table. He can see only these four columns. That's all. Whenever there is a requirement like this, then views. And Vijay is not allowed to see all the 14 employees data. Our table contains 14 employees, na? Is not allowed to all 14 employees data. Is allowed to access only the employees belongs to 20th department. 20th department data. That's all. Is not allowed to access all. Then create what's it view. In this view, include only the what's it employees belongs to what 20th department. Then grant this view to Vijay, V2. If you grant this view to Vijay, then Vijay can see only employees belongs to 20th department. That's a specific column, specific rows. Okay, then next. View is a what? View is also a view is a virtual table. View is also called virtual table. Okay, what is virtual means? Hmm? What is virtual means? Huh? Virtual. Virtual means not real. Virtual means what? Not real. So V is a not real table. Like a table, but it's not a real table. Why? Because real table stored the data occupies memory. A real table stored the data occupies memory, but view doesn't store the data, doesn't occupy memory. That is why it is called virtual. Okay, na? View is a virtual table because what? It doesn't store data and what doesn't occupy memory. Okay, then it always what's it? It always derives data from base table. It always derives the data from base table. Okay, na? Then whenever you query the view, you query the view. So you query select star from view V1. When you query the view, it will go to whenever you query the view, it will go to the table. It will go to the table, get the data, display the data. But itself, it doesn't store the data. Itself is doesn't store the data. View stores only the structure, but not data. It stores only the structure, but not data. But whenever you query the view, it will go to the table, get the data, display the data. Understood? So that is what meaning of it always derive the data from base table. Then a view, what's that? A view represents a what? Query. A view always represents a query. Understood? Then. So subset of a table, virtual table, always derive the data from table. A view always represents a query. Okay, then what is the purpose of creating? Sir, here in all these objects, what is most important is 3 points. What is view? What is the purpose of creating view? Explain with example. What is index? What is the purpose of creating index? Just explain with one example. What is synonym? What is the purpose of creating synonym? Explain with example. That's you should be able to answer to these 3 questions. Remaining what's that? Secondary. Okay, na? Basic thing. Okay, then what is the purpose? So views are mainly created for 2 reasons. One is okay to provide what's it? To provide row in what's it? Column level security. This is one purpose. What is the another purpose? To reduce what's it? Complexity. Okay, how to reduce complexity? We'll see that. So these are the 2 main purpose of creating views to provide the security to reduce complexity. Okay, then using views, we can provide row and column level security. How means by granting specific rows and specific columns to users. Okay, then. So what are the types of views? What are the types of views? One is okay. One is what? Then simple views. Another one, what? Complex views. So views are 2 types. One is simple. Another one, complex. Okay. Then first one, what? Simple views. Okay, then if the view created on single table, it is simple. If the view based on multiple tables, it is complex. That's simple. It is based on single table, simple view. If it is based on multiple tables, it is complex view. So first see the simple view. If you what's it? A view based on what? Single table, then it is called simple view. Huh? A view based on single table, it is called simple view. Okay. How to create the view? Create what's it? View. View name. Next one as what? Select statement. This is the syntax. Create view, view name as select statement. This is the syntax. Okay. Then example. Understood. Then view always based on what's it? Query. View is associated with what? Query. You write the query. Then example, create view. Create view V1. Create view V1 as create view V1 as before creating, you should have some idea why you are creating. Why you are creating the view. Why we are creating the view? There is a user Vijay. I don't want to give the complete EMP table to Vijay. I want to grant only specific columns. That's why I'm creating the view. Then what? Select what? What columns you want to give to the Vijay? I want to give employee number, name, job, department number from EMP. I don't want to give salary. I don't want to give commission. Is not allowed to see the salaries and commissions. I want to hide salaries and commissions for Vijay. That's why I'm creating the view like this. So create the view. Then create this view. You created. Who created? DBO. Who created? DBO. So DBO is created the view. But when this view created, what happens? The view created, you can see that where it is created. DB 6 p.m. Here what's it? Views. Then once again, let me what's that? Delete because okay. Then so DBO dot V1. So the view created. Okay, then. So what happens when this command is executed? What happens when this command is executed? When this command is executed, what happens? SQL server creates what's it? SQL server creates view V1 and stores what's it? Query, but not query outputs. Okay, na? What is stored in V1? What is stored in V1? Query. Query stored, but not query output. Query output means data. Query output means data. Data is not stored in V1. What is stored in V1? Query. That is why it is called what's it? That is why it is called virtual, because it is not storing the data, not occupies memory. And I said view represents a what's it? Query. So this V1 is representing this query. You are giving the name to this query. What is the name given to this query? V1. Understood? Then. So now, but if I run this query, suppose I'll run this query, select star from V1. Select star from V1. If I run this query, select star from V1, it will show the data, it will not show the data. If I run select star from V1, it will show the data, it will not show the data. It will not show the data. Run this, showing the data. How? Then again, see this here. View sir doesn't store data. S doesn't occupy memory. What is this point? It always derives the data from what, sir? Base table. That means what happens is when you run this query, select star from V1. Yes, you run this query. When you run this query, when above query is what's it? When above query is sent to SQL server, it executes the query as follows. It executes the query like this. You submit this query to SQL server, then it executes the query like this. What is select star from V1? V1 is replaced with this query. Select what, sir? MPNO, ename, job, department number from EMP. So wherever you reference V1, V1 is replaced with this query. That means when you run this query is not executed. This query is executed. You understood? Whenever you run the query on view, so when you run the query on view, this query is executed. What is this query returns? Numbers, name, jobs, and department numbers. So that is displayed here. Understood or not? Then. So when you run the query on V1, this query is executed. That's it. So this is concept. What is the concept? Creating the view. Okay, na? You're creating the view with query. But when you create the view with query, so the query is stored, but query output is not stored. But whenever you run the query on V1, so the actual query is executed. This, okay, na? Then this query is not executed. This query is executed. Okay, then. Okay. But what is the purpose of creating? Why you created? Why you created? Because there is a user Vijay. Vijay is not allowed to see all the fields. He is allowed to see only specific fields. That's why you created. Then what? Granting permissions on what's it? Granting permissions on view to what's it? Users. Granting permissions on view to users. Then what? Who is granting? DBO. Who created? DBO. Grant what's it? Select, insert, update, delete on what? V1 to what? Vijay. Granting permissions on view to Vijay. Commands completed. Now, Vijay can access? Yes. Select star from what? V1. Because he given permission, no? Now we can access. Select star from V1. Can he access EMP table? Can access EMP table? No. He can't access EMP table. He can access EMP table through view. Sorry, accessing view means accessing EMP table only. But he can't access EMP table directly. He can access EMP table through view. What is the difference between accessing EMP table directly, accessing through view? Through view, he can access only specific columns. He can't access complete table. Okay, na? Hiding. How data hiding is possible in SQL? By using views. That. Okay. Now, can you update? Yes, because you granted. If you update in view, where it is updated? Table. It is updated in table. Remember, view doesn't store the data. Whatever commands you execute on view, that commands are actually executed on base table. Okay, now update view. It is updated in base table. Then suppose this employee job is what? Clerk. Then update what? EMP set job equals to what? Manager, where employee number equal to 7369. 7369. What is doing? Updating. 7369. Sorry, not EMP. What's it? V1. So V1. Okay. Is updating this view. Job is updated with manager. One row affected. Just go and see the table. See the table. Select star from what? EMP. Not table. See, not view. See the table because where it is updated. Table only. Then table. Smith. Job is manager. Okay. Na? I update in table. Can you see the changes in view? I update in table. Can you see the changes in view? Yes, because whenever you run the query and view, it will go to the table and get the data. Okay, na? So Vijay can see the data. Select star from WhatsApp V1. This is one. What that is? Update WhatsApp V1. Set job equals to manager, where employee number is 7369. Is updating job with manager. That's it. Okay, na? Then. But what is this is? What is this is? This is what? No. This is okay. Granting specific columns. Yes. Specific columns. Specific rows. What is the next one? Specific rows. I want to give the permission to, okay, then suppose what? Then next. This is column level security. Next, what's it? Row level security. Then what? What DBO is doing? Creating what? Create view V2 as select what's it? Number, name, job, department number from EMP, where department number equals to 20. So in this way, I'm including only the employees belongs to 20th. Now grant this view to what? Grant, select, insert, update, delete on V2 to what's it? Vijay. Then what? Now Vijay can what? So first create the view created. After creating the view, grant the permissions on view to Vijay. Grant the permissions. Yes, granted. Now Vijay can access select star from what's it? V2. Select star from V2. Now you can see only the employees belongs to what? 20th department. You can't see all the employees data. You can see only the employees belongs to 20th department. Understood that? Sir, okay? That. Clear? That. So what this is called? Row level, allowing the user to access specific rows. Previous one, allowing the user to access specific columns. Okay, now? Okay, so we'll continue this tomorrow.